What is going on, crypto peeps? Welcome back to the Traveling Crypto. Happy Friday to you. Market cap currently sits at almost 130 bill. Not much change between the last few days, really just teetering up and down a few billion. Some alts are seeing a little bit of movement in BTC value and dollar value. This is what it looks like. I hope you guys actually like the color red because that seems to be the official color of cryptocurrency. So, all right, let us get right into the analysis. There are a few things I wanted to go over today. Bitcoin, XRP, I'll go over QKC, XLM, a couple of coins that we sent out trade alerts for. If you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. And then I'll talk about the Zcash Coinbase listing, which actually, hilariously enough, I did send out a long-term alert on Zcash just because of where the price action was, how the chart was looking, and as well as the fundamentals behind ZK snarks and the whole privacy coin concept. But I actually have it here on the Discord. So I sent out a long-term alert for Zcash, and it just so happened that it was... you'll see right here, November 29th at midnight. So this was actually Thursday night, technically. And they announced it, the next day at 10 a.m. Pacific time around there. So it was funny. I mean, obviously, I didn't know that Zcash would be listed that soon. But even in the description, I said, it is also rumored to be listed on Coinbase. Back in July, there was a report that 5 coins would be listed on Coinbase: XLM, ZRX, BAT, ADA, and Zcash. Anyway, saw a nice 15% jump from there. I'm holding Zcash for the long term. It's one of my long-term holdings. You could see how the chart looks overall. This is the one-day chart. And in Bitcoin value, Zcash is near all-time bottom. So I definitely picked up some Zcash for the long term. Again, if you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. Looking at BTC, this is BTC on the 4-hour chart. We did see this heavy divergence between the price and the RSI, as well as the double bottom bounce from this support zone, which allowed us to enter a leveraged long on BitMEX. And now we see Bitcoin hitting this structured resistance here at around 40. There's around 4350 thereabouts, maybe a little bit more. This is where the resistance zone is currently for Bitcoin. So it looks like it is now trading within this sideways channel. Obviously, you can assume that until it breaks to either direction. During market crashes and even periods of sideways trading, like we saw, if you remember, it seems like an eternity ago, but if you remember what was happening weeks before, and months even before this crash right here. This is the crash that took us down. You'll see here, this was around November 13th, this crash that took us down. We were trading sideways for since September 5th, right? So what? That is a good 2 months, a little over 2 months. We were trading in this extremely low volatility, actually near all-time low volatility before we saw this drop. So it is very likely, or I guess very possible, that Bitcoin does trade in a sideways pattern. Obviously, nobody can tell you the extent of a trend, so nobody knows if that is going to be for 2 months or 1 month or 6 months. But the thing that worries me is when we're trading sideways when there is extremely low volume, right? That is essentially what started taking us down here. Look at the volume, and this is the volume compared to, the volume that we saw during this latest crash. But this is the volume leading up to this drop. You cannot sustain yourself on extremely low volatility with minimal price action and no volume for a long time. Eventually, it's going to break down because there is no demand for the coin at that price range. So hopefully we don't run into a situation here again where there is low volume and we're just in this lull, this sideways pattern that really does not entice bullish traders to buy Bitcoin. And then we will most likely see another drop from there if that sustains. And this is actually supported. If you look at the longer term chart, this is the 1 month chart, you'll see Bitcoin bouncing off of the 50-month EMA, which is this yellow line right here. But I drew this out a few videos ago saying that if this bear market lasts as long as a previous one and we see a similar drop to the one that we saw previously, this could take us down all the way to sub 3K levels, and the bear market could sustain for another year all the way to October 2019. Now, I don't think that will happen, only because of some of the rumblings of what is going to come next year. Here is a storyline. VanEck SolidX make case for Bitcoin ETF at latest meeting with US SEC. I do believe that a physically backed ETF will be coming next year some point. And then backed is also delayed until next year at some point. Like I refuse to believe, or not refuse to believe, but it's just improbable to me, right? Just being around markets for a long time, for long awaited events like this, however meaningless you deem these events, but they are long awaited and heavily reported, right? For long awaited events like this to actually come to fruition and that not have any effect on the price. And like I said, you don't know the extent of trends, so it could have a heavy effect on price, but it could be short-lived, right? Like we could see, a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 increase in Bitcoin, but that breaks down shortly thereafter. So we have yet to see. Looking at XRP, this is XRP. This is actually the futures on BitMEX. So let me just look at XRP against the US dollar. You're seeing that it is forming a classic bear flag here. Volume is okay. It's trading around average volume, but there's definitely more sell volume than buy volume. We're currently far away from all three EMAs, and this is on the 12-hour. If you take a look at the 1 day, you will see the same bear flag pattern, obviously with less candles, but we are currently away from the 50, 100, and 200-day EMAs. There is support here between 26 and 27 cents, which is where I think we will head to if this bear flag is confirmed and we break to the downside and there isn't that much volume, or the downside break is accompanied by heavy sell volume, heavy red volume. Then we will most likely see a 26, 27 cent XRP, which in my opinion is a great entry point. If you remember, CNBC was telling you to buy at $3 just a few months ago. All right, on to Zcash. As we previously mentioned, Zcash was listed on Coinbase unexpectedly. Or not unexpectedly, I guess the timing was unexpected. I had a hunch that it would be released on Coinbase, just not that fast. But you could see that the rally was short-lived. This candle right here specifically with the long wick, this long green candle, is where the announcement came out. And, you'll see that it pumped pretty heavy. We went up, I think, 18% from... Actually, we can measure it, and I'll tell you exactly. So why speculate? We went up 17% from where the open was and came back down. So even a Coinbase listing is not having the cachet that it once had. And I mean, obviously we're in a market crash, so it is temporary. I do believe that Coinbase listings, when there is, a stable market or a rally in the market, will be even more of a booster. But in a market crash, all you can hope for is a short-term rally. Either you take your profits and bounce, or you hold for the long term. And now that BTC is stalling around the 3,900 to 4,000 level, you can expect to see some alts rally in BTC value. You'll see on QKC there is a juicy setup that looks to be forming here. Again, if you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. XLM looks like a juicy setup as well in BTC value, trading in this ascending channel, adhering to the support and resistance. So this is ripe for a swing trade. Anyway, nice, short, sweet video for you today. Again, access to the trade alerts, link in the description. If you got anything out of this video, leave a thumbs up. If you have a question or a comment, leave it in the comment section or hit me up on the Discord. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there. Peace.